Yee, welcome to Barstool Bench Mob, presented by High Noon Hard Seltzer. Today, you heard from us about the bracket. We have Carlos Boozer on this podcast today. And we also today are going to go into the gambling segments of what games we think you should lock in on, what games we're feeling good about. A lot of these like upset games are like 1 point favorites.
I know.
It's crazy.
That's the tournament. There's so much chaos.
Usually it's
spreads.
not
really. Usually getting higher numbers.
It's like sixes or fives. Like there's not usually 11 sixes at -1.
Yeah, the last time I remember was Minnesota as a 5 seed was a dog. The 12 seed Middle Tennessee.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. But this is more of a gambling deep dive because we kind of was doing first reaction bracket on our last episode, and today is just deep dive into every single game. So we have that. Carlos Boozer. Anything else?
Yeah, so it's going to be a deep dive.
Because that's crazy.
Like
just how many are within a possession.
Yeah, so we've had some time to digest the bracket. Now we're going to look at the numbers, look at the spreads. Yeah, it's amazing. Remember, we'll be live streams Thursday through Sunday, March after midnight from our streaming locations. And it'll turn into a podcast form if you can't join us live.
Yep, let's do it.
And here we go.
Before we get into today's episode, again, I am here to talk to you about High Noon Hard Seltzer. It's the best, one of the, I think there's not even a two. I think there's no two. I think it's just one, and they're in their own category, and the rest are all just fighting for each other to try and be a High Noon, because High Noon is seriously the best thing. I know during these streams we're going to have a bunch of them just hanging around. It's good to eat with your dinner. It's good to eat anywhere. Again, we went to Iowa. Rico literally he asked the person to get six black cherries, and she made him, that poor girl or poor guy had to go into each box and get each just black cherry. Yeah. But that's how good they are.
And he had the empty bucket on his head after
he did
responsibly drinking the High Noons.
He did. It just makes you feel good.
Have a little fun with the pals. You know my new favorite way to drink High Noons? I've never done it before.
What's that?
It's being served them after you win a competition where you got laughed off the fucking pal.
Oh, who's doing that?
Jakey boy.
Yep.
Ooh.
I lost the sling show competition.
You're
laughed at. I picked two. Was I the only one with 2 outright winners?
I think Brandon maybe. I think you beat him by 1 point.
Who Brandon have?
He had Purdue, Texas Tech, Duke, and
Arizona?
No.
Regardless,
UCLA. Doesn't matter. I'm serving Rico Thursday at High Noons.
Because if it was Brandon, it would have been okay. He's going to take advantage of it. So you're fucked. But
yeah,
be like
Jake will be the High Noon Hard Seltzer delivery boy.
That's fine with
Rico.
Me.
Well, it has to be.
Yeah, I know.
Have an option.
Well, I'm going to follow up with my punishment, unlike someone else on this podcast who weasels his way out of multiple punishments.
With too many games.
Oh, Jake, I could curse, you fucking pussy. Like, that's not a fucking, or it's not a punishment. I could curse every day. Like, that doesn't matter. What's your punishment? Nothing.
What?
Your punishments are so minuscule to mine. I'm wearing a UNC fucking
Well, you had the ball. You controlled your own destiny.
I keep saying, I said kit.
Yeah, you did say kit, and that threw
me up. And I just said outfit, UNC outfit. What the fuck? It's a jersey uniform. I have to wear that. But go get your High Noon Hard Seltzer. That's got to be the best ad of all time. We just went off the entire thing.
Yep.
We love High Noon.
Yeah.
It's the best. All right, let's start off with the West region. So what we're going to do is go down the line. Each person will have either their favorite bet, maybe a trend that sticks out to them, and why they're taking that. We'll start off with the West region, of course, Gonzaga, the 1 seed. Rico.
Wait. Before we even do that, I got a stat for the boys that I just told them pick Central, but I stole this, but it's mine. Okay? So you got that clear? This is mine if it works, even though I stole it.
I'm blaming you regardless.
Deal. That's fine, unless it wins. So, say the over-under is 140, right? This has hit in the past 5 years or 10 years. I think it's hit a 62% clip. The over is 140. If the second half over is 10 points or higher or lower, like if it's 130 or 128, like that, hammer it. Second half overs. Because you fouled 20% more than the regular season, obviously, because it's do or die.
Yeah, you're winning, unless you're Florida State, who forgot.
So I think as a group, if we're gambling together, we see it, we hammer it. And it's at 62%, that's a lot.
That's going to be a teamwork play.
Yeah,
we're going to need someone to be like, hey, point guard's got to be dishing out there.
We need to know, hey, 10 points less than this one.
Yep.
So,
I'm also going to get super greedy. If a team's waiting on a delay, I'm taking all the unders. First half under, game under, and then I'm going to take second half overs. I'm going to be in a lot of.
Don't you have a spreadsheet for this?
I'm going to be middle Mikey.
Yeah, when you see the shots of them warming up in the hallway, in the concourse.
Big time. Well, it's this. If the game's supposed to start at 2:40 and it starts, I think, 20 to 30 minutes later, it hits at a ridiculous clip, like 65%.
Just first half under?
First half end game.
Interesting.
See, like, when you do, I like this one, but you just made up 65%.
I can go get
you made
the
it
number.
up, though.
I can get
like
the
mine was stats.
Right,
I do stats now, and then you just throwing out numbers.
You do it, I'll get the number.
All right. Fair enough. While Rico's pulling
he's
that.
so flustered.
Even though I don't give a shit about the actual number.
While Rico's pulling that up,
annoying.
Marty, in the West region, what sticks out to you the most?
In the West region, my favorite bet, because I think a lot of people, sorry, Jake, are going to love Vermont.
Yes, they are.
Arkansas
not so much.
-5. I love.
They're already bet down.
It's down to 5?
It's down to 5. It was 6.5
Oh
last
my
night. When
God.
we were
That's what I'm saying. People are loving Vermont.
It opened at 6.5, which I thought was small. And now it's 5. It means people are hammering.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I like Arkansas, because that's a very sexy 13-4 one as well. And the scariest game, honestly, to me, is the Michigan State Davidson.
That was my favorite bet. Davidson money line.
So it's Michigan State minus 1.5.
I think
right
where
now.
it's like in my head, I have that storyline of Izzo, Coach K, like where the media will suck their dicks for 2 days, but it's like Davidson seems like the play there.
Well, you have the alternate storyline too of small school in Carolina playing. So it's there both. Obviously, the Izzo one's bigger, but plus 104 on a Davidson team that I like a lot, and they're like, I'm not high on Michigan State. I'm playing that money line.
Yeah, for sure.
15 minutes at the time of the stat, it was 30 and 15. 30,
Okay.
15, and 1.
Okay.
First half unders, end game unders.
So what's that percent?
30 out of 45 is like 66%. Right? 2/3.
So you
I
undersold
don't
it.
know.
Yeah, 67.
You undersold it.
How many years is that?
I don't know. 40. It's 45.
It probably
Fall
didn't
back
apply
later.
as much last year because it was one location, right? It was a weird
It
schedule.
didn't- Yeah, they laid it out way more.
Yeah. All right.
I'll tell you
Reags,
though.
What about you?
I'll tell you the other game I really like a lot. I feel like people are going to be on Memphis minus 2.5. Right? We saw what they did. They've gotten hot late. Boise State's going to turn them over. Boise State's really good at turning people over. They're catching 2.5 plus 120 on the money line on Barstool Sportsbook. I'm playing Boise State plus 2.5.
That's a toss up. Fucking obviously.
Well, and that's honestly why I'll probably play the money line too, plus 120 for that, and a 2.5. And I like Boise State.
As both you gamble, like plus one. If it's plus 120, and then what's plus minus 2.5?
They're minus 109 at 2 plus
minus
1.5.
109. I take the minus 109. I think winning 120 to 100, betting 100 to win 120. I'd rather just lose the $30 and get the points.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I'm big on me. I don't know if that's what everyone does.
So
but
for me,
like,
it's on feel. Like the Davidson catching 1.5. Obviously, that takes away like the layup at the end to win by 2.
yeah.
Like I would lose that either way, or the money line. The 2.5, you do get a little nervous of a buzzer beater. That's not a 3. But if I think Boise's going to win outright,
yeah.
why would I? I'm not.
Yeah,
gonna
but I'm
catch
just
the
saying,
points.
like, when it's like plus 120, it doesn't. I need like real pluses to me to take the money line.
See, I like taking these, the little juices.
You're
If
a
I like
pussy.
that they're
You're a
win.
say you're a pussy. It's fine.
No, I don't need points. I'm not. You're the pussy.
No, you're a
you
pussy.
need points. I don't
No,
need
you
points.
want the plus 120s. I'm taking like plus 400.
I make a statement. Boise State's winning that game. You think they
Memphis is
might?
gonna win.
They might. You
Memphis
think
is
they
gonna
might
win.
win? Yeah, Boise State's winning.
No, Memphis.
See,
See.
Split room. My best bet.
Oh,
Go ahead,
okay,
Rico.
Jake.
No,
Yeah, it's real simple on these. I think Gonzaga's a smash first half. I like Montana State catching the points. I watched them score a lot in the Big Sky. Texas Tech, we know, goes cold. And Marty, I think Duke has to have some kind of life here.
I think
18
Duke
and a half.
blows
Like
them out.
they have
So
to.
that was my
Have
best
to.
bet was Duke minus 10.5 first half
Have
because they've
to.
been embarrassed the last few weeks. I think they're going to make a statement. This is literally Coach K's last run. I think maybe the 18.5 could come back, but I think they are up like
11 in the
15.5.
first half is
What's
weird
your
though because if
problem,
it starts
by the way,
getting.
with Texas Tech? You keep saying you're not on them.
I
very
worry
high.
about their offense. They're very good. I just worry about their offense.
I understand that, which is fair.
And I've seen it play out now in long spurts. It's not like I'm watching it and Reags is going, "What are you talking about?" Like what are you? He's watching something different. It's very evident that they don't score for huge gaps of it. That did them in on Kansas.
No, 100%.
They lost by a handful to Kansas. Those gaps don't like
100%, but you're like saying it against Montana State, where it's like Texas Tech's going to be up in their
well,
grill.
15 and a half. I know. Montana State could score a little bit. I'm just going to take the points.
You're down on Texas Tech.
Yeah, I am. Also, I think, first year coach.
Oh my God.
Rico's very anti-first year coach in the tournament.
I think that's one of my worst. It doesn't make sense. Juwan Howard made it to an Elite Eight.
He didn't win.
It doesn't matter. Elite
99%
Eight first
of the
year.
team
Because I've been in so many things where like picking the Final Four matters a lot. So that's where it goes. Like I cross off teams I don't think can make the Final Four. Okay. That's why Dan's like so upset. Like Wisconsin, like to me, like picking the Final Four matters. So he was like, "Why Wisconsin?" I'm like, "Well, they're off my list." So whatever.
Rico, one more question for you in this West region. What do you think a hypothetical line between Alabama and the Rutgers Notre Dame winner will be? 4 says Marty.
I was gonna say under that probably.
I was gonna say like 2.5.
2.5 sounds right, maybe.
Yeah,
I think 4.
Is the momentum
Do
from
you think
that?
it opens at 4 or bet up to 4 though?
I think it opens at 4.
And then bet down or bet up?
Down.
I think it's I was gonna go even a little bit lofty. Or the short rest. You know what it's probably gonna say. I was gonna say 5 or 6. It's probably gonna settle at. I agree with you. Maybe it'll hit 4.
Yeah,
that's not crazy.
It's not going to be more than that. I'd be shocked if it was because obviously that team will be a little bit more loose, right?
Definitely.
Because they have the Rutgers Notre Dame thing.
Well, you have to look at this: Arkansas, New Mexico State is 5.
Right.
Arkansas, Vermont,
right.
Arkansas, Vermont.
Yeah,
sorry.
Right.
Yeah, that's the one game we didn't hit on.
Where it's like Alabama, Rutgers, it's probably gonna be 3.
So UConn, New Mexico State is 6.5.
That's the line I can't figure out.
This region.
That's the most baffling line to me.
Are you saying it's too small or too big?
I don't know. That's the thing.
Okay.
I can't figure it out because I like New
one?
Mexico State. New Mexico State catching 6.5 against UConn. But I also talked about how I feel like UConn's the forgotten team in this region.
Right.
I can't figure out if that line's too high too. So I'm so baffled.
I don't
by
know if
that line.
stats back this up, but I feel like teams who are embarrassed last year in the first round, like they don't want to lose again. Obviously, they don't want to lose again, but like feel like teams like North Carolina and UConn, they lost in the first round last year. I feel like they're going to put up a better fight this time around. That could be totally off. I just feel like UConn lost to Maryland. Everyone had UConn winning last year, and it's like, all right, Dan Hurley doesn't want to lose back-to-back first rounds.
That's fair.
So that's the only reason why I think UConn wins that game. All right, so that's the West region. Let's move over to the right, to the South region. But before we do that, a word from Dude Wipes. As usual, Dude Wipes has you covered on all things number 2. So you have to join the Dude Wipes number 2 seed challenge on their Instagram and Twitter channels, prizing a year's supply of Dude Wipes, which will make the next 12 months the freshest of the winners live. Simply follow at Dude Wipes and comment which number 2 seed you think will go the farthest in the tournament. It's that easy. And 2 winners will be randomly selected once the last number 2 is either flushed or cuts down the net. You must join by tip-off of the first games on Thursday, March 17th. Quickly, down the line, farthest 2 seed.
Villanova.
Duke.
Kentucky.
I will say Kentucky as well. So follow at Dude Wipes and comment which number 2 seed you think will go the farthest in the tournament. It's that easy.
I actually think it might be Auburn.
It might be Auburn, yeah.
I ain't saying it, but
could take my team out. Auburn.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah,
We're
so
not
it's
really
that
good.
easy, and 2 winners will be randomly selected once the last number 2 seed is either flushed or cuts down the nets. All right, South region. Arizona the 1, Villanova the 2, Tennessee the 3, and Illinois the 4. Rico, what sticks out to you in terms of the Barstool Sportsbook here in the South?
South.
Michigan.
I thought you were going right. Why do you keep doing that? You keep going top.
Yeah,
That's the way they announced
That's the way
it.
they announced
I'm
it.
a big West to East guy.
But I was just doing it the way they
I had
did
to
on the
think
selection
for the
show.
West. That's what threw me off.
Do we want to do the West?
What do you mean?
Or do you want to do the East?
It's fine. Do South.
He was texting. That's why he wasn't ready.
No, well, I also pulled up.
I was just following the
It's not a big
selection
deal.
show order. That's why.
I hate the selection show.
Not ours.
Yeah,
You can watch it back on YouTube, by the way.
The selection show's stupid.
No, it's stupid. So now that they're announcing top, fuck you.
Well, it's 1 seed, 2 seed, 3 seed, 4 seed.
Stupid.
No, I agree. Rico.
Just
That's the only reason I'm
But
doing
it's very
it.
logical why they do it.
No,
Stupid.
it's not. I'm
All
gonna
right,
do Rico.
Do this half of the bracket and then this half of the
Yeah, I
bracket.
agree.
Rico, you're South
Very
region.
symmetrical guy. Fold my clothes right down the
Let's
middle.
go Rico's way?
Let's do
Let's
East.
do East.
Yeah,
All right,
let's
we'll
do
go on to the
We are
East.
we are
One of
fucking
the
taking
East.
ranked
Bullies.
East.
There you go, Rico.
Bully boy.
All right, down on the East, the
All
bottom
right, so
left.
that's what I had.
Baylor,
That's where I
Kentucky,
was at
Purdue,
with this,
UCLA.
okay? So if you look at the futures here, right, to win this region, UCLA, Kentucky, obviously 150. Baylor plus 300. Purdue plus 300. UCLA plus 350. Carolina has the same price as Texas. I would take, I know I've been down on them all year. I take a little bit of a flyer here. Texas to win that region at 20-1.
Wow.
I think it's just something
So
like
that's either Purdue and Kentucky most likely.
Purdue doesn't scare me at all. They play no fucking defense. Beard's team not getting off the bus worries me as well. It could be, don't get me wrong, Texas could be out in the first round again.
Again, Texas is like
it's a risk reward.
Alabama, where it's like they couldn't really make a run. I think they got a good draw.
They're also -1 in this game against Virginia Tech, which is
Are there any pick'ems, or is that the smallest line?
No, a half is Ohio State minus 0.5 against Loyola.
No, that's a different region.
Right. No, I was
just saying in general.
Yeah, I was saying
so I mean, Texas at 20-1 is a flyer to me. I like the draw for UCLA. As far as games that stand out, I think Murray State, for all that it matters, I think Murray State -1.5 figures out a way.
You know, Marty will be on that too.
Love Murray
with
State.
Kentucky in the wings.
Love Murray State.
Kentucky in the wings.
I'm taking it because I would rather play San Francisco than Murray as a Kentucky fan, and I'm just going to do an emotional hedge all in on Murray State.
I'm definitely taking Wyoming if
with
they win against St. Mary's. I know we like Indiana. Trey Stacks Davis giving problems. I think Wyoming has a 3-headed monster that I really like. I'll take them money line.
With Texas, don't you think it's gonna be a recency bias of people being like Virginia?
I was just about to say that this feels like, you know, the team that gets hot wins a tournament, and everyone goes. Last year, Georgetown, Colorado. How many people bet Georgetown? Right? How many people heard, "Oh, Georgetown's hot"? Colorado beat them by 120.
Yeah, and I think Texas wins.
Also, Jerry McNamara's year got ran out of the building by Texas A&M.
Yeah, like it happens a lot, right?
I
Teams
love
get hot.
Texas. Love Texas. Oh man.
I think I like Texas too.
Yeah,
I'm terrified. God damn it, Marty. This happens to us with this stupid fucking team.
Think about it. Couture just had the shooting game of his life. That's the reason they're in this tournament. Can he do that again?
Yeah. I like Yale catching.
And they had a buzzer beater too.
Yeah, they should have been eliminated against Clemson.
Like they had a heck of a run.
I don't like this.
I'll tell you what upset I'll like you what dog I like. Akron catching 13.5.
That is a lot of points.
I like Akron catch. This region has a lot of points after the Texas Murray State game.
Yeah.
I like Akron catching 13.5. Johnny Juzang hasn't been right this March.
I'm on Yale. I like Yale catching the points.
You're very anti-Purdue.
Yes.
Interesting.
Also, I mean, they're Ivy League. They're going to fight. They're going to be smart. Late in the game.
James Jones,
like,
they've been there before.
Damn,
yeah.
You going to let that go?
What do you say?
The Ivy League's going to be smart. We're going to let that one go, guys. We got to listen to things he says. Well, Ivy League, they're going to be good. They're going to be smart.
They just fly over
like
my head.
They're going to fight late in the game, and they're going to cover.
They're going to be smart.
Yale, plus 15.
do you think they cover on a backdoor cut?
No. I think they can be right there with Purdue, like 8 to 10. I don't think it's going to get to 15.
You think they'll
like
pass the
8,
test?
10. So they'll be right there.
I like Yale and I like Akron as well.
I like Akron. I'm interested in Marquette plus 3.
I think UNC is similar to my theory on the UConn thing. A team loses in the first round last year. I feel like those guys have more motivation.
I don't think it because it's different teams. It's
I'm saying with those two specifically, it's a lot of returnees.
No, I know. I don't know if it makes that much of a difference for me to bet this game. Like Marquette is just an interesting team to me because there was like no one really talked about them. I think making this tournament at the beginning of the year.
They have NBA talent. Justin Lewis is going to be a first round pick. Daryl Morcell, he should have been in like the finalist for Defensive Player of the Year. And
everyone thought UNC like starting to put it together. Then they did lose to Virginia Tech like bad.
Everyone started sucking UNC's dick because they beat Duke. And it's like they got ranked for winning that. And everyone's like, well, what happened when they lost by 100 to Kentucky or lost by 100 to Duke or all these other shitty losses?
I like Marquette there.
I'll tell you what. I think
that line's going to go up too.
The Marquette UNC winner, I think, has a real chance to knock off Baylor in the second round. Why
is Baylor getting so disrespected?
Are they getting disrespected? They got a 1 seed.
No, not by them.
But everyone's saying
you take everything so literal.
Well, I know the full context.
By everybody, where it's like Baylor's like doesn't have a big like a lot of people are saying they could lose in the second round.
Oh really? I actually didn't know.
Yeah, like even on Pick Central, right? Everyone.
Who said that?
Yeah, no, I don't think Baylor can lose in the second round. To be honest,
I don't either.
I think it's the region, Marty.
I got a deep fate. If these teams hit a list. You don't really ride them, and Marquette and UNC both hit that list. I think Baylor's pretty safe to get to the second weekend.
That's fair.
You have the name brands, right? It's Kentucky, it's UCLA, it's UNC. That's all in the region where Baylor's still, I know they're reigning champs, but it's still, everyone's like, yeah, but it's Baylor.
Yeah. And then lastly, Reags, Kentucky minus 18 against the boys from Jersey City.
It's down to 17.5 sitting here right now all of a sudden. So
I think it's going to be an under.
It's 132.5 on the under. I think it's an underplay. I also think coming off the way that they shot the way they shot against Tennessee was the worst shooting performance they had in March since the 2010 Elite Eight against West Virginia.
Want me to go pull a fire alarm at the school or something?
I mean, I think me and you could walk into St. Peter's tonight, and no one would everyone would be like, "No, you're students here, right?"
No, we'd be on the team.
That's
walk onto the team. I could play.
Do you think we could be an assistant coach there? Like, if we just put on a suit and walked in, like, guys, gather around.
1,000%.
Yeah, it does feel like an underplay. I also think Kentucky might just blow them out because of the lack of shooting against Tennessee, and it feels like a bounce back. Like, no, we're gonna kick the shit out of some mid-major.
Let's move to the Midwest.
That's fair. Yeah, we will move to the Midwest. However, let's split it up with our. Well,
if you're
we'll
gonna
split it up with our interview with Carlos Boozer. Let's get to Carlos Boozer.
Why can't we go to the Midwest?
Former Duke player. I'm sure Marty's
going this way.
We'll continue this debate after the interview. Here's Carlos Boozer, a Duke guy. Marty, I know you'll have some big Coach K questions for him.
I'm very excited to talk to him.
But before we get to Carlos Boozer, we want to remind you about Sling TV. If you're worried about where to watch the big tournament, it's time you got Sling. It's the cheapest place to watch college basketball. Watch exclusive Barstool content like the Brandon Walker Show, our show, the Barstool Bracket Buzz, every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern through the Final Four, and Kelly Keegs is The Other Line. Sling is the place where your favorite sports channels like ESPN, FS1, TNT, and more come together for less. Sling is easy to set up, easy to use, and there's no contract. Sign up now and try it absolutely free. Whatever you're into, Sling is where you can find the live sports you love all in one place. Go to sling.com/barstool to sign up now and try it free. All right, we want to welcome on a very special guest. He is a former Duke Blue Devil and national champion. Just a couple of days before Coach K's final run. It's Carlos Boozer, and Carlos is here to promote Sax Underwear. They've teamed up, and Carlos is a ball handler in his own right. He'll appear in a new ad spot that will air online and on TV in Miami and Dallas during the tournament. It's based off the trend that there's a 30% increase in vasectomies during the first weekend of March Madness. So Sax created the first ever vasectomy registry. Yes, you read that right. A vasectomy registry. It's a new spin on traditional gift registries that gives men a reason to celebrate their vasectomy as a retirement party for their balls. So Carlos, tell us about this underwear. I have my pair here. I'm going to be wearing it during the opening round of the weekend.
Yeah, very comfortable, guys. Thanks for having me on first. And let me just say, I partnered with Sax. Sign your friends up for the vasectomy registry. Get them a nice package. It'll come with some nice underwear. It has this amazing ballpark pouch technology with really takes care of your boys. And for all those guys out there getting vasectomies, this is the best way to recover, celebrate them, to recover in this nice, comfortable underwear while you're sitting there icing them or watching the tournament or what have you, whatever you want to do. But sign up at Sax. Was it SaxRegistry.com?
Yep. I'm already packed for March Madness. Are in there. First of all, Carlos, I love you. I'm going to tell you that right there. You're one of my favorite. I'm a big Duke fan. So tell me right.
Shirt.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Just tell me right now why Duke is going to be okay in the tournament. Please, God, give me something. Also, your beard is beautiful. All right, I'm going to stop complimenting you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Nice beard as well.
Yep,
this is where I'm at with Duke. So no team in Duke history has had the kind of pressure microscope that this team has had. Coach K announces his retirement for the season. Every game is magnified, right? There's so much pressure on these kids. They're starting 3 freshmen. They also have Wendell Moore, who's their vet leader as a junior. But they're a young team is what I'm trying to say. And so they've had a couple of high pressure moments. The game at Cameron, you walk in the building and you see all your favorite Blue Devils. You see Grant Hill, Christian Laettner, Jay Williams, and Shane Battier, and the list goes on. And the pressure, they were playing great the whole game. I feel like they got a little fatigue at the end of that game. And me personally, I felt like their defense wasn't at a championship level to win that game. Then they make a run through the ACC tournament. They get to the championship game as expected as a number 1 seed. They run into a team they got some grown men over there. You know what I mean? You look at Virginia Tech, they got 3 fifth-year seniors. These guys they're very mature. They've been through the tournament. They've had championships at other schools with their coach Mike Young, and they really took it to Duke, especially down the stretch of that game. So my personal feeling is they've had two really high pressured games. They lost both of them. They'll learn from those losses, and as you enter the tournament, every game is high pressure, and I feel like they'll be able to achieve more this tournament, mainly because they're lacking their defensive intensity, and that's something that will be corrected before the tournament starts.
And that's what I was saying too, because like you said, there's been pressure every game, and everyone's like coming at them no matter what. Because even obviously you played for Duke, there's pressure on Duke no matter what, because everyone wants to beat Duke. But now all these other kids have all the pressure in the world because it is March Madness, but Duke has already been dealing with it all year, so that can only help them, right?
That's how I'm looking at it. Now, I hope they are too.
Please God.
And the other thing is, they have an opportunity here. Like, I would love to go back in time and throw on my jersey and be able to represent Coach in his last season. I would go so hard for Coach K. So I hope they have that same mentality as they enter the tournament. They definitely have a team that could cut the nets down as long as they're playing championship level defense.
All right. I got to say it. I'm the Kentucky grad. I do not want to see you in a Duke jersey ever again. Ever again. I will call in so many violations if that happens. You won a title. As much as it pains me to say it, Duke, you won a title. I don't want to know what it takes to get there. I want to know the after effect. How was it that night you cut down the nets? What was the party?
It was emotional, man. It was like one of those, all the extra shots we got up, all the extra sprints that we ran, the extra weightlifting, all the extra film sessions. It paid off. Like, anytime you end the season with a win, and we won the whole thing that year in 2001, it felt like it paid off. Oh, and just so you know, it could be a Duke-Kentucky Final Four.
Oh, I'm well aware. You don't think – look who I sit next to. Look who I sit next to.
In my bracket, by the way.
I've been yelling at him for a while about it.
You end up having an incredible, championship hangover. Like, it lasts for months and years, and even right now when we go back, like, for example, we went back to honor Coach K. You saw over 100 players that came back to honor Coach K that last game at Cameron. And we're sitting around the room, and there's, Gene Banks and Jay Billis and Christian Laettner and Grant Hill and J.J. Redick and Elton Brand and all these different guys. And we're all talking about our championships, right? Because me, Shane, Mike Dunleavy, Jay Will, Chris Duhon, we got ours in 2001. Some of those guys didn't get one.
Yeah, JJ didn't get one.
Think how good the 99 team was that lost in the championship to Connecticut with Elton Brand and Trajan Langdon and those guys, and they came up short.
About that game.
Yeah, and that was by far the most talented team, but sometimes talent doesn't always win the championship, right? So just the reason why I'm saying it is because if you have an opportunity to get a ring, you got to get everything you got to get it done, because the championship hangover, that was 25 years ago. and we're still talking about our championship in 01. So my point is, the celebration continues, my guy. It continues.
Okay.
I was lucky enough to watch that live. I'm a little bit older than Marty and Jake, and it actually was just on ESPNU the other day, with obviously everything going on with Krzyzewski. So I watched it again, and the one thing that stood out, obviously the star power at Duke, Battier, Dunleavy, Jay Will, you. Arizona was loaded. Luke Walton, Gilbert Arenas, Richard Jefferson. And the one thing I kept saying, like, the game is changed now. I feel like it's a lot faster. But do you think there was, like, you guys were better than those? Like, what do you think of the game now as far as those teams back then? Because it did feel like those teams are a little bit better than what we got going right now.
Yeah, but the game has changed, right? Like, you look at college basketball now, and this is a very unique year where we have the fifth-year senior and everybody can transfer with the portal and they get that COVID year back if you're older guy, what have you. So you do have, like, Virginia Tech had 3 fifth-year seniors. You know what I mean? They're older guys and they're great. Keve Aluma's terrific. Storm Murphy's terrific, and so is Justin Mutz. There's a lot of teams in this tournament that have that fifth-year guy. Duke also has one. And I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Theo John, who's a beast. Looks like Aquaman Part 2. So
he just looks like a grown man.
But for the most part, all the really talented guys in college basketball, they're one and done. You see them on campus for 6-7 months, and you see them in the lottery pick or the NBA draft shortly after that. Back then, Shane Battier was a senior, right? We're sophomores. We had juniors. We got guys all spread out. People don't even recognize this. Yeah, we won it in 2001, but we lost it in 2000, right? We lost in the Sweet 16 to Florida, who lost it to Mateen Cleaves' team in the championship. So that agony of that defeat in our freshman year really propelled us our sophomore year. Let me take you back to Shane's 4 years at Duke. Freshman year, lose in the Elite Eight to your team, Kentucky.
17-point lead, right?
17-point lead. Sophomore year,
99.
Sophomore year, 99, they lose in the title game to Connecticut.
Yeah, fat Khalid El-Amin. I'll never forget it. It's built like a fire hydrant.
Rip Hamilton, MVP.
Yeah.
Then his junior year, again, we lose to Florida in the Sweet 16. And then he finally wins it his senior year against Arizona. So what I'm saying is back then you had guys that went through multiple years of the tournament that had crazy experience. Whether they won it, whether they lost it, you had guys that went through it multiple times. Now, like this year, we got Paolo Banchero, top 3 pick in the draft. He's a freshman. Trevor Keels, he's a freshman. What's his name? AJ Griffin, he's a freshman. All 3 of these guys are starters on the Duke team, but they're all freshmen and have no tournament experience. That's why I tap into like a Wendell Moore, who has a little bit of experience. Guys that will be able to be there for these guys. And there's a lot of teams this year that are one and done guys, but they do have a couple of 5th-year seniors. The game has changed. Do I feel like we can compete? I think our team can compete with any team ever in the history of basketball. And I'm not saying that we beat everybody, but I feel like we can compete with anybody. Shane Battier was a great leader. Jay Will was literally unguardable in college. Dunleavy was a 6'10" guy knocking down threes, which is common now.
Yeah.
At the time, it wasn't so common, right? So I just feel like we had a team. Chris Duhon was a great point guard, and I held my own in the paint. I think we had a team that could compete with anybody. Oh, and by the way, we still had Coach K.
How about Cooler Spoozer saying he held his own in the paint? Come on, you're a
That's
top 5 pick all-star. Yeah, I held my own, yeah.
But speaking of Coach K, because there's a lot of haters, a lot of them out there, right there, that talk so much shit about Coach K, which, first of all, he's the best college coach of all time, best basketball coach of all time, in my opinion. What is there a story that what's something that Coach K you remember about him of what makes him the best?
I mean, there's so many things, man. Coaches will go for a lot of reasons. Obviously, everybody talks about his championships and the 5 rings that he has in the NCAA tournament. I mean, second only to John Wooden in a whole different era. But in the modern era, Coach K's had the most success, right? He's got the most wins all time also. But for me, it's really – it comes down to a couple things, right? When I talk about my basketball career, Coach K really laid the foundation of the player that I was going to be. Right. And even the man that I was going to be also, like, we have to be responsible. We have to have discipline. We have to have the desire to need each other. Right. So we're all McDonald's All-Americans. We come on campus. I'm the player of the year in Alaska. Jay's the player of the year in Jersey. Shane's the player of the year in Michigan. Dunleavy's the player of the year in Oregon. So we all got this individual ego because we're all individual badasses. Right. When we get to college, then we get to Duke. And what Coach does is he takes that individual ego and turns it into a collective ego. So you have all these great players from high school playing on a college level going after the same goal. Let me take it a step further on that same topic. Then he takes over the Dream Team and the Olympic team with Team USA. And our 08 team, we got LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard. And the list goes on of the stars that we have in our team. And he applies the same thing. LeBron and Kobe are fighting over who's the best player in the world. Then you got Dwayne Wade, who's not that far off, right? He's also a champion in his own right. Then you got Melo, who may be the most gifted scorer on that team. You got Dwight Howard, who's trying to break every backboard like Shaq used to do. So he's able to, again, take everybody's individual ego of 12 of the baddest dudes on the planet and have a collective ego to go win a gold medal. I just find that talent alone just so incredible by Coach K.
I want to hear your thoughts on the legacy of Coach K, because obviously this being the farewell tour, he has the 5 rings, as you mentioned. But if they don't win it all this year, obviously the Duke-haters had fun with what happened against North Carolina. But a lot of people might remember that. from this farewell tour unless they win it all. What are your thoughts on how this tournament run will affect how people think of him after he retires?
Yeah, I mean, I think the historians, like the real basketball, true historians of college basketball, will know how iconic Coach K is. Not just even for college. I mean, just his effect on the game in general. People got to remember that the reason why they reached out to Coach K to begin with is because in 2004 we got the bronze medal that year, and so they were like trying to find a new direction, and they went to Coach K, who again has this unique ability to bring people together, to bring athletes together. I mean, Coach K gets hired by people to go talk to companies, big Fortune 500 companies, on how to bring a team together to continue to run their company at a better level. So he has a unique ability at that. But me personally, I feel like no matter where they end up, whether they win the whole thing or they don't, Coach K will always be considered one of the best coaches of all time. And he may even be one of those coaches that get looked at on the Mount Rushmore of coaches throughout all sports, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, and so on, because he's had so much success over his 42 years.
All right, I got to ask. As a resident Duke hater, so I'm older. I grew up, Trajan Langdon, Wojo. Right. That whole era was when my old man went to Wake. So I grew up no Duke, no UNC, no NC State.
Right.
Somehow you've avoided the Duke hate of, Duke is polarizing. Obviously, when you win as much as Duke has, you become polarizing. The people who love Duke, people who hate Duke, there's no between. But it feels like players a lot, right? Like, that's an annoying Duke player. How the hell did you avoid that besides being intimidating?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they picked on Shane.
Is that it?
Yeah, he's a scary guy.
Yeah,
he'll beat the shit out of you in the paint if you say something.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what's funny? Like when we were there, the whole, Duke Maryland was a big rival. When I was in college, my 3 years, Maryland was our biggest rival, in my opinion. Right? They matched up very well with us.
Yeah, Steve Blake and Dixon and that whole group.
Ron Dixon, Lonnie Baxter, Chris Wilcox, Terrence Morris. They had a really good team. I mean, to the point where we won in 2001, and guess who won in 2002?
Yeah. They did a short documentary I just saw on that. Those 3 years, like 2000, 2001, 2002, was just wars back and forth.
Maryland blew that massive lead.
Yep.
Yeah, Maryland was an awesome team. So for me, like, most of the hate that I got was usually from the Maryland Terrapins fans, right? Because we were both top 5 all 3 years in the country. And even that year that we won it, we saw them obviously 2 times in the regular season. We saw them in the ACC tournament where we beat them again. And then we saw them when they were up by 21 in the semifinal and the Final Four, and we came back and won that game. So most of the hate that I received was from Maryland Terrapins.
It's also probably
nice. It wasn't
nice.
like the Carolina. It wasn't really Wake. It wasn't really Virginia. It was mainly the Terrapin fans.
It was also probably nice, like, when you got home, no one could tweet at you, like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great point, though.
Yeah.
Like that there wasn't really a big social media press. There was no social media press. What we had, like, MySpace?
Yeah.
Was that out
still early, no.
MySpace was like 01.
Yeah,
we were on MySpace in 01.
I was on MySpace in 05.
So maybe Facebook and I don't know. But nowadays, you're seeing stuff in real time. Guys got their phone out. They're going live on the celebration when they're winning their games, when they're winning their conference tournaments. It's a different era now. The hate can be brought at you on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram.
Yeah.
It comes on all sides.
What's the worst thing a Maryland fan to you? Is there one thing that still sticks out 21 years later?
Yeah, the Miracle Minute, right? We're down 10 with a minute to go.
Yep.
And they're throwing bottles on our family section. So, like, my mom got hit. Jay Will's mom got hit. Coach K's wife, Nikki, got hit. Like that. That's why I said to you guys earlier, that was the biggest Duke hate I got, because they thought they were going to win that game. Jay Will went nuts in the last 54 seconds. We take it to overtime, and then Shane took over overtime. And so we win that game, and that was by far like the worst thing I'd ever saw, where you're like throwing bottles on a family section over a basketball.
Yeah, it might be.
They're not on the court.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. It might be a poor transition since you don't give a shit about Maryland, but I know you're tied in with doing some stuff at the ACC. Who's the right guy for that job?
For Maryland?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of jobs open. I don't know. There's a lot of young guys that are coming up doing a great job. There's some really good coaches in the mid-major division that people aren't paying attention to that would love to get a call from Maryland or get a call from Louisville and get a chance to coach at the high Division I level. It'd be interesting to see what they do. It'd be cool if they gave it to Juan Dixon, right?
Yes.
He's having a great season. their team has been very successful over the last. It'd be cool if they called Juan and said, "Hey, why don't you come on home?"
Maryland belongs in the ACC.
Yeah, they should go back to ACC. I was just going to exactly say it's got to even as a rival. It still has to bother you that they don't play each other, right?
Yeah, it's so bananas to me. Like the especially when you think of the history of the ACC, you can't talk about the history of the ACC without talking about Maryland.
Yeah, that is true. I gotta ask. It's been bothering me now. I don't know. I know nothing about the world, right? I barely got out of New York till I got this job. What Alaska makes no sense to me. Like, is that like I didn't even think people really lived there. So you were from Alaska, and is it really sunny out for 6 months and dark for 6 months?
This is a great question.
So,
don't say that.
Don't admire his stupidity.
But I'm just saying, just don't open the door because you don't know how far that hallway is. All right, Carlos? We've been there.
So I moved to Alaska from DC when I was 8-9 years old, and when I got there, it was completely different. It was awesome. I'm coming from inner city, and I'm going to Alaska where everything is outdoors. Everybody goes hiking, people go fishing, they go camping, they do marshmallows. Like I never learned any of this stuff being in DC. So when I get to Alaska, it really opened my mind to a whole new world out there, just a new beginning for us, from me and my family. And yeah, I mean, where I grew up in Juneau, Alaska, it's kind of this beautiful town, kind of tucked into this mountain range with the Pacific Ocean in front of you, and this incredible mountain range behind you that has all types of glaciers. And the thing about Alaska is there are some places that are very rural where people are doing dog sleds and they got igloos. But this town that I grew up in was very modernized. We had a McDonald's, Taco Bell, all that good stuff. I mean, it's not what you think it is. It's so beautiful. We got cruise ships that come every year, 4 or 5, every day that come up to Juneau, Alaska to come check out the town. Very beautiful place, guys.
Right. But what's the high school?
I'll go with you.
What's the high school?
We'll hang out in Alaska together. Have some Taco Bell.
I would like that.
What's the high school basketball talent like? I figure you play like the 4 of us, like right now in Alaska.
That's why he's playing the year.
Who finished?
You are a great player, but it's got to be easy, like posting up a 4-2 Eskimo, right?
Well, it's better than you think. I mean, the number one sport up there is hockey, right?
Yeah.
But it's better than you think it was. There's really good coaches. There's good teams. The guys are bigger than you think they are. I mean, before I got to Duke, we had Trajan Langdon.
Yep.
After me, there was Mario Chalmers. There's a lot of guys that come out of Alaska that actually make it and do well. The majority of the athletes just happen to play hockey, right? So, like when I was there, I think, I'm about to go dominate, but I didn't win it my freshman year. I lost it my freshman year. I didn't win the state championship my freshman. I thought I was going to win all 4 years. I didn't do that. So there's really good teams up there. They coach really well. They do there's good team basketball up there. And every once in a while, you will find a star that can go to Division I and play well and have a chance to go to the NBA.
That's fair. All right, Carlos, this has been great. I got one last question for you.
I got 2 more. 2-part question.
Go ahead.
A good question.
Go ahead.
Good. I swear it's not about Alaska.
See, you already went to his head.
No. So Baylor wins last year. Villanova wins recently. They keep going. Those are more teams that do have those 4-year type guys, where a lot of the one and dones are not like this. The one Zion and RJ Barrett, they lose in Elite 8. Like, do you think it's still like when you have that group of like they've played in the tournament, they've been together for so long, those are the reason why those teams are winning instead of these one and done guys?
What's the second part?
Well, the second part's who's going to win this year.
That was going to be my question. He said Duke Kentucky Final Four, so I wanted to hear how that story ends.
So I really do. I do put a premium on veteran leadership. I think experience really carries weight in the tournament. I just do. I think guys that have been there before, that know what it feels like to lose, that knows what it feels like to be, 2 minutes to go when you're down by 5. Can you pull that out? Like, think about that. Like, my own experience, we got a senior, Shane Battier, who's seen the tournament 3 times. So when we're down by 21, and he's telling all of us guys, we got plenty of time, we can come back. Right? We believe him because he's been there before.
Yeah.
Well, this is our first time getting down by this much. And all the pressure, all the chips are on the table, all the pressure on us to come back. And we got Coach K, who's been in every situation that my basketball coach could be in, right? So to have multiple guys that are 5th-year seniors or juniors or or just regular seniors, to have those guys to help mentor these freshmen, I think is a huge win for the teams that have that. That being said, to hit your second part, my heart, I got Duke, and my heart, I got Duke winning the whole thing. I think it would be amazing for our guys to send Coach off the right way.
Yes,
and I'm going to be honest with you. If offensively, I'm not really worried about them, other than like a game gets down close, get the ball to Paolo, let Paolo go to work. He's a mismatch everywhere.
That's it. Give him the ball. Just give it to him.
The ball.
No one else.
He's down the stretch of a game. Give the ball to Paolo. He's got the mismatch. He's 6'10", can do a little bit of everything. He's got a grown man size, and he's and he got great touch. If he gets double teamed, he's a terrific passer, right? My main concern is defensively.
Yeah.
Guarding the pick and roll. We got the ACC Defensive Player of the Year, Mark Williams. We got a first-team All-Defensive Player in Wendell Moore. Let these two guys lead our defense, obviously with Coach K's leadership, and figuring out how to dismantle each team that they're going to have to face on the way to the Final Four, on the way to the championship. It's got to be done defensively. Now, there's some really good teams out there. I think a team that people aren't really talking about is Arkansas. They beat Auburn this year. They beat Kentucky this year. I also like Arizona. They got some grown-ass men on Arizona, too.
Yep.
There's a lot, and I know everybody's pumped on Gonzaga. I think they're very good. I got Duke beating them, though, on the way.
Oh, my God. This guy's my best friend.
This is my nightmare.
That's all I say.
This is my nightmare.
That's all I've been saying. It's like, also funny to hear him talk about Duke because he's like our and we because he actually played for Duke. And I say the same shit. I'm like, yeah, we got to win this game.
He tried to take a 2-credit class just so we could stop making fun of him about saying we and Duke and everything.
Oh, one more sleeper team, Tennessee. Tennessee's very good.
This whole desk has gotten trashed the whole season for being anti-Tennessee, but they kind of shut us up.
Well, also
in the tournament,
one of their players said he would come on the podcast for a $300 fee, so it's never been done before. So
we said, "Go fuck yourself."
See you later.
I'm waiting for
him on for free, guys.
Exactly.
On for free.
I'm waiting for JJ Redick and K to appear just to truly make this podcast my worst case scenario.
Last question, then I'm done. Who's your top 5 Duke players all time?
Great question. So, and I'm biased. I just want to be honest up front. I got Jay Will. You know what? I'm gonna take it back. Let me go point guard to center. So for me, I got Johnny Dawkins as my point guard. I feel like the Duke program wouldn't have been what it is without having JD. JD was like our first superstar that Coach K really recruited. And when him saying yes to come to Duke, I don't know if you guys are watching the tournament. It's a show that came on. Yeah,
I watched all of it already. Yeah,
I DVR'd it. Yeah, I got to check it out. Yeah.
JD was like Allen Iverson before Allen Iverson. So I got JD as my point guard, Johnny Dawkins. I got Jay Will as my 2 guard.
Wasn't he like the best player of like
he was unguardable?
Jay Will's the best college player I've ever seen.
He scored 17 straight in the tournament. It was unbelievable.
Jay Will scored 2,000 points in 3 years. Like he was unguardable in college. After 3 is probably my favorite Duke player of all time in Grant Hill. Just could do everything. He was super smooth, always cool, calm, and collected. And by the way, he's still that way today. Very smooth, still cool, calm, and collected. Had a very, very good college career. At the 4, I got to go with Christian Laettner. Probably had one of the best careers of all time of any player in any era. 4 Final Fours, 2 back-to-back championships. And then I would say at the 5, I'm gonna go with.
You can say yourself.
Yeah,
you can say yourself.
Like I had a good career, man. 3 awesome years. Got a chip. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
No, that's the correct answer.
Yourself.
Oh, I was hoping you said yourself.
I'm also
not
gonna pick someone else because you still scares the shit out of me.
That's not a bad squad. Well, Carlos, this has been great. Again, go to Saxx.com, SAXX.com for some underwear. Good luck to your team, the Blue Devils, in the tournament, and we'll be in touch. Hope to have you on again soon.
My team.
Anytime, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Carlos.
All right, that was Carlos Boozer, former Duke Blue Devil. Marty, finally for once on these airwaves, you have someone who supports you in Duke. It must feel really great.
It was awesome. First of all, Carlos Boozer is fucking awesome. Like, I love him as a Duke fan. Like, it was just like, it's cool to see like an actual like legend from Duke. And
I think
also just like not be boring and chop it up. Like, when I asked about Alaska, he's like, "You're right. No one really knows about Alaska."
How about him throwing in, there's a McDonald's and Taco Bell, like
Yeah,
the finest cuisine
And
out there.
like, for me, that was like, wow, I'll go there now.
That was pretty great because he was like one of the, like when you were 13, that's when I consumed like every Duke game. That 99 and 2001 team like nonstop, and it's crazy to talk to him like that because he was one of the first guys that got me really into the game like seriously, and it's crazy to talk to him like that. But like you said, yeah, seems pretty down to earth. I thought he did his 2001 team a little dirty, maybe because I've only watched those guys 20. But you can make a case for Jay Will. Obviously, Reddick was after him. Battier, him, Dunleavy, and him as like five greats as well in that rotation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's biased, whatever, but still, yeah.
No, but he only put him in.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, Battier could be in that discussion for the last 20 years anyway. Like without a doubt. I know Leitner and all those guys, but like let's face it, we didn't watch them.
It's crazy that guy, gold medal winner, champion, like won a title, made a shit ton of money in the NBA.
It was on those good Bulls teams too when they were making runs, right?
It's more funny where it's
13
like,
years in the NBA.
Yeah.
in no world that guy should be talking to us.
No,
That's the funniest part about
he's
all this
chopping
stuff.
it up with us.
Because usually we're interviewing coaches, we're interviewing players. Like, yeah, that makes sense. They're not. Well, like that guy is like, he's like, I should never talk to Marty Mush. But it was awesome. Shout out Carlos Boozer for coming on.
Still terrifying.
And the beard is great.
Still terrifying.
Beard's unbelievable.
Love the beard. All right, let's go back to our bracket breakdown. All right, on to the third region. Rico, I'll let you pick here. We want to go in Rico's order.
Explain to me why I think if you're going to go from left down, you got to complete the square.
You wanted to go
where
like this.
you're going.
I was going clockwise in the beginning.
You're going bang, 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 where it could just go.
You
go
do
around
this.
the,
You do the
go
whole
around
list
the road.
down.
He goes
and then
top
you
down
start
and
at
then
the
top down.
You
You
go
just
around.
you the guy who reads it from the back of the book, so you know what happens.
Yeah.
You're fucking.
Look at me. What do you mean?
That's how I know it's a good movie or not.
I will say, I do fill out my bracket how Rico wants to do it. Top, bottom.
Yeah, like a normal.
I
bottom.
don't. I do literally like games I like. Like I don't go each one.
Oh,
I
you go like
bang,
Duke
bang,
all the way to the
bang.
championship and
I'll
that's
go-
it?
yeah.
That's a crazy
That
fucking
is
move.
insane.
Yeah.
That's an listen. We all joke around with each other. We all with shticks and everything. What Marty just did is not shtick, and that is why he is a fucking insane person.
Dude, I can't full out like I will not get someone to the Elite Eight or the Final Four from the one. Like you guys go to the Final Four from the South, from the West. And
No, I go
I go
round by
region by
round.
region.
I go
region by
round.
region.
That's insane.
No, I do round by round, yeah.
No, you just solidified yourself as the second craziest person on this
Do
podcast.
you remember the fucking website CollegeHumor?
Yeah.
Back in the day, they had a thing. It still cracks me up. They had a kid. He was the kid who, Aziz, or like I don't even know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But they long story short, they were tricking each other. They were the one who tricked him to think he hit like for 10 grand at Maryland. He had him blindfolded. He hits the shot, and he turns into his buddy posing with the check. But anyway, they had a video filling out a bracket. It's still to me one of the funniest things on the internet because the kid's going down, and he's like, he's going like Norfolk State. No, it's not. He's like Weber State. No, it's not. I mean, then he goes to the kid, hey, can I change my Final Four? He's like, yeah, you can do whatever you want. He's like, I want to make it a Final Six. And they're like, no, you can't change the format of the fucking.
Just trying to make his own bracket.
Yeah, it was just the way he did it. It was great. It makes me think of Marty.
So what
fucking going
region
berserk.
are we going to?
We're going.
here?
We're with the South.
South,
Yeah. So
all right.
Arizona, Villanova, Tennessee, and Illinois are the top 4 seeds. Marty mentioned Michigan off the top. They are favored by 2.5 points, despite being the 11th seed.
They're going to beat the shit out of Colorado State.
The fact that that's in Indianapolis, like if this game was in Fort Worth, which we know Jake likes to talk about 16 seeds having home court's advantage there.
Corby.
But if that was in Fort Worth, I'd probably take Colorado State. But it does feel like that arena in Indianapolis. is
Michigan
gonna
has a
be-
very loyal and big
and,
alumni
yeah,
base.
it's
Like,
not
they're
that far
traveling
of a
anywhere.
travel.
It's been out on Michigan. They can't believe they're 11, not a play-in team. They're going to beat the shit out of them.
I don't think they're gonna beat the shit out of him. I do think it's gonna be a very
Well, you
good
have a
game.
91 ticket, so.
Right, Roddy.
Yeah, I've kind of crossed it going off. I'm still waiting for my Colorado State merch though. So,
So that's why you took
but
some
yeah,
off.
listen, friends with the coach.
Doesn't see me.
David Roddy can play. I think this tempo wise, they're both very slow. I think Michigan grinds it out to like a 6-point win. But I agree, the line is telling you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
And the game being in Indy, Michigan -2.5 has to be the play.
I want to tell you, everyone's going to bet Loyola-Chicago.
That's-
I'll tell you that.
That's why
This
I
is
like
what I was
Ohio
about to say.
State.
Yeah, I know.
you guys just stole my take.
I like
That was my
Ohio
favorite
State.
play of the first round.
Yeah.
Like when something is so obvious, it doesn't happen.
But sometimes it does.
That's
why
my
it's
favorite
Really?
play of the entire
I mean, I
first
could
round.
be wrong. Yeah, I don't know.
I want Ohio State to become the dog. I hope people
Because everyone's
hammer Loyola, so it's Ohio State +1.
last year, and I mean, Sister Jean's still kicking. So, I mean, if they lose in the first, I don't want this to happen. I don't. If they lose in the first round, Sister Jean might die.
Jesus.
She might. She might. Just saying. I want to preface. I don't want it to happen, but the magic runs out.
They won on a bunch of buzzer beaters. A heart attack if they lose at the buzzer.
That's
The flip
what
side,
I'm
she's used to
saying,
winning.
Where it's like if they win, when they win, it adds 2 more years to a life.
Here's
We not you. What are you not gonna answer?
no.
I'm sorry, I started doing the math.
I
in
was
my
gonna
head.
move on, and then you said something so crazy. I'm like, we have to talk about
Crazy. I
that.
mean, do you not agree?
I don't wish death on.
Did I? What? See, why do you always gotta bring it to like the weirdest shit? Like this is how we have fun, and you're like, oh, I don't wish death on him, and you will get like mucus in your throat.
What do you want me to say? I don't want the woman to die.
I don't want her to
She's
die.
He's
either.
not actually
I've-
saying that.
Listen, I have too many people on my list that I'm rooting for to die for anyway. I can't.
One second, you can't do that.
What?
You can't be like, I don't know, you make me seem like I want to die. Like that's how we have fun with it.
All right, you sound like you wanted the lady to die. I'm sorry.
He's
No.
joking.
I
He was
didn't wanna-
joking.
Disclaimer: we don't want Sister Jean to die.
Yeah.
All right,
Bro,
all right. Redo
am
it.
I wrong?
No, I mean yesterday on the show, Dave said he wanted to slap Sister Jean.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure we
like,
can
you
say
gotta,
that.
we gotta open up a little bit.
All right.
This has been a little boring, what we've been doing, to be honest.
Yeah, that was a nice little like comedic.
Yeah, we need a little something in there.
For
Yeah,
the clip.
alright.
For the clip.
I didn't think she was gonna die.
She's not gonna die.
But we want,
Holy fuck!
but we want Ohio State to win.
All right, Sister Jean. No, but Ohio State. It seems like everyone's very down on them as of late too, and I think they're kind of dead. That's gonna be the most square Joe Schmo in the fucking water cooler pick. I think you gotta go Ohio
Again,
State.
they got historically embarrassed last year in the first round.
Yep.
Yeah, true.
And remember that Ohio State, they didn't have Zed Key during these losses. Like they're getting guys back. So fuck you, Sister Jean.
Yeah, seriously, I really don't like her.
I know you don't.
No.
You're mad at her cameo
She
price.
just makes, like, you guys talk about Coach K. It's like, who makes it more about Loyola-Chicago?
So to me, it's Coach K 1, Sister Jean 2 is the biggest
Sister
egomaniacs
Jean's
in college basketball.
way more too, because she shows up for the tournament. She wheels in like a fucking bag every year during the tournament. When do you talk about Sister Jean in November?
That's why she's number 2. It's Coach K 1.
Was she in
Sister Jean
Atlantis?
2.
I don't know if she was in Atlantis for Thanksgiving.
They play Friday. I like that. Friday and Lent. I love Loyola in this game. Sorry, I'm going.
Oh, she's gonna be all out of whack. She's not gonna have like a ham and cheese.
No, you guys are idiots. They have no Loyola-Chicago's gonna have no protein. They have
That's
no
what I'm saying.
no meat.
That's why I like it.
Yeah,
I like it
for us. Yeah, she's gonna be all out of
PB&Js,
whack.
maybe pregame
We're
meal?
Catholics, man. We got to remember this shit.
I guarantee that fucking Sister Jean eats meatloaf on Fridays. She's definitely not doing any shit.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Can we get Sister Jean on the podcast? I want to ask her if
I
her
would
game
love-
day tradition is like a pepperoni pizza. What does she do on Friday lunch? What's more important?
Dukes, check out how much her cameo is now. If it's more than 200, I'm not doing
You
it.
think she bumped it up because she knows this is prime time?
Yeah,
It's
prime
Marty.
time.
She's trying to.
Four
If
now.
it's more, I'm not doing it.
Dukes will look it up. I'll tell you what I love. I love TCU over Seton Hall. Right now it's 1 point. Marty, I know you've been a big Seton Hall guy. Jamie Dixon's been to the dance plenty of times. They didn't have many expectations this year, and here they are in the 8-9 game.
That game, no joke, is like obviously it's -1, so it is a toss up. But that's my most confused game
Yeah.
because they're such different teams in my opinion. And Seton Hall, it's like I've been on them a long time. They
It's
haven't
late
been
Friday
very
night too.
Yeah. And then what do you guys think about the Jelly fam? He's getting 8.5 against Houston.
I mean, we're taking the points at the over. Like we're taking the points at the over.
I think
It's not
I
a
think
max
They're all
play, though.
crazy. I think that everyone's like, all right, Jelly thing's kind of over, but it's not over me. Where I do think they can stick with Houston. Like Houston's defense is disgustingly like
Too
overwhelming,
athletic.
but I think that UAB definitely can play with
Like
Houston.
obviously we love Jelly. We had the whole thing over. UAB has high major transfers.
Yeah, I
Like
know.
they got
That's
guys
what
from
I'm
Ole
saying.
Miss. Like they got.
They have
And
9.
Andy Kennedy is a damn good
They
coach.
have 9 transfers.
Yeah, and
It's
a lot of them come
insane.
from high major. It's not like
Yeah.
you know they're not pulling from mid like a low major up to UAB.
And a lot of those transfers were the people like Jelly, where it was like, oh, no one believed in me, and now they all have this chance. Like Houston has been coasting in that dog shit conference. I think UAB has a real
KJ
chance. I'm taking.
Where's
the
that game?
Buffalo.
Okay, so new. I mean,
There's nothing there for
no
a
advantage. For
How much?
anybody.
Sister Jean's not on Cameo right now, but last year she was charging $150.
Oh,
She's
you
not on right
oversold
now?
it.
No, she's not taking
Yeah,
any
when do you think
requests.
she's gonna go on that ass wipe?
Right,
Thursday.
Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday. She'll go on Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. Disgusting.
Yeah, would love that.
I need to know her pregame. If she eats meat for pregame meals,
She definitely does.
then Friday I need to know. I like Ohio State even more now.
I got a little off the grid pick in the South.
Let's hear it.
Longwood team total under 57.5.
You think Tennessee's defense?
Yeah.
I kind of like
shut them
Longwood
out.
plus 17. Kind of like Longwood plus 17. It doesn't smell like a letdown spot.
Excuse
It
me.
does, but-
Houston
but-
UAB is in Pittsburgh.
Okay. Do you
Not
think
bad.
do you think Longwood can win that game scoring? Like I think Longwood plus the 17 means it's just ugly and they're in a fight and it's
That's
51
fine.
to 40. So
It smells like a letdown spot. for
it's a
Tennessee.
low number, but I think Tennessee can smush them as well. So I'm gonna take that team total under.
Marty, I know you have Illinois going very, very deep. Chattanooga right now is plus 7.5.
Yeah, it's a lot of points. It's a lot of points, but I'm on Illinois. I really do agree. Why do you think that Chattanooga is like a?
I have Dukes, our
You came in
producer,
saying that-
loves Chattanooga, loves the
It's gonna
mocks.
take him 45 minutes to turn his mic on. So wait.
Malachi Smith's one of the best
Ooh,
mid-major guards
got
in the country, and Silvio DeSousa, the big man.
Just-
The one who threw the
say-
chair from
all right,
Kansas,
listen.
by
no,
the way.
no, I'm just saying.
I hate when people say names and it's like, well,
well, no, I'm
Illinois
giving
has.
the guy fucking credit.
I understand. Relax. Slow it down. It's okay. But people do
Added
that.
spice.
It's like, well, I know the names on it and they're good. It's like, well, I could see Curbelo and Kofi Coburn are really fucking.
No,
So that's
really
why.
fucking good.
That's
Really
why I
fucking-
like Chattanooga's. D'Souza's big enough. Like
Exactly.
not the typical mid-major 6'8" center.
Yeah.
He's like the same size. Not the same size. He's close enough in size to Kofi
But
to at
it's
least like
also
fucking
Kofi,
stay with him.
Like, yeah, I understand what you mean.
First off, I started naming people because this is the first time people might hear me, so I'm trying to add credibility behind what I'm saying.
Listen,
That's
this
fine.
podcast is definitely not.
No, I'm
known
just
for
saying that's fair.
credibility.
I think Malachi Smith's
speak
good
for
enough to
yourself.
play with.
What's your
Curbelo, too.
credibility?
My credibility is that
You don't make opinions. You can't have it.
credibility as a reporter following the game, not an
What?
opinionist.
What does that mean?
There's a difference between credibility of making opinions and credibility of reporting on the games.
You say I could. Seton Hall TCU -1. That's credibility.
Look, I'm not talking about gambling. I'm talking about overall.
I'll give you
I
credibility.
work hard for my credibility.
I know you do. I'm not going against it, but my credibility, no one cares about. So I don't give a fuck.
I don't really
Also,
think
can I
you
just
have
say one
much.
more thing about
I
Chattanooga?
don't give a shit either.
Marty,
Also,
I
the
might be able to swing
NCAA
you.
probably agrees after what happened.
Well, you didn't really you kind of looked out for yourself. It's all right.
Absolutely not. I applied for all three of us to get credentials to the Final
Why
Four.
do you always, whenever
and
I fight,
they
with
only
Jake, you
approved me.
say-
I don't know why.
I want to
exactly.
say something on
I'm
this
gonna get mad.
podcast. I go against Jake
gonna
and
get
like
mad.
Rico's just like
Yeah,
this.
because I'm gonna get mad.
I want you to get mad.
So
It's okay.
explode.
Jake can take it.
I literally applied for all
No, but
three of
get
us.
mad.
One Final Four credential.
I applied for all three of
14
us.
days after the thing. It's like, well, I know we're late, but you think I could get in
Like
there?
no, yeah. The other thing is like your
I'll show you
whole
guys
thing
the
is
email.
Yeah, I thought
the
credibility.
big
You
J.
should know.
Like you got to
Yeah.
know the deadlines.
That's-
We don't know the
that's not good,
deadlines.
bad
We don't know the
credibility.
emails.
Yeah, it was.
We don't know who to call.
But I don't know how you guys
That's
can blame
bad
me
we
for
credibility.
might have
this.
to use
That's
Reags'
bad
fucking
credibility.
backdoor guy at the
So
arena.
for the background here, I was
Waiting
a
with us
few
with a
weeks late
fucking
applying
grease.
for credentials for the Final Four. I applied for all three of us.
14 days late.
Yes.
How do you not know the deadlines?
You're the
This
credibility
is my
guy.
first time doing it.
You're the credibility guy. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. So
Silvio DeSousa.
Rico probably thinks I went out and told.
I want to get
Told the
credentialed
NCAA.
for the Maui next year as well.
I have a guy there
Okay.
too. They invited me out a couple years ago.
Riggs is he's a guy too. We gotta watch out for him.
Well, my guy
he's
is
got like
the media.
He's the
One who
guy's
threw the
like
chair.
second cousin. You know what I mean?
No, actually, my guy for the NCAA is the head of coordination for PR.
So
Media.
what are we doing here? Get us get us everywhere. What do you mean?
Get that ban off at the Garden.
Yeah, the NCAA director of media coordination. That's the guy who approves credentials.
So why the fuck?
Nobody told me.
Waiting for?
What do
I
you
emailed
mean?
him. Yeah, he's the one I emailed.
Yeah, 14 days late.
For all three of us. So don't say I'm looking out for myself because that's BS.
you went. Which one do you want? You want that or credibility? You got to take one off the table.
I mean,
I want
for
Maui.
this specific circumstance, I was
Credibility's
at
out.
credibility out. I was a
Yeah.
team player, so I don't want to hear that from you guys because that's unfair.
It's unfair to say you're credible.
In this exact circumstance, yes, but this is going to be one of those
Why can't-
conversations
why
where we
am I-
never
why am I
say
Sharing the
no.
Yeah.
credential like three poor kids in a shore house with a DJ's VIP card.
Passing back the fake ID.
Yeah. going to the fucking window thing and throwing it over the thing, letting the kid come in for free admission.
Yeah.
Like, fucking,
All right,
I've gone backwards in my life.
Let's move on to our fourth and final region, the Midwest region. Number 1, Kansas. Number 2, Auburn. 3 is Wisconsin. 4 is Providence. 5 is Iowa. I'll tell you what, guys.
Oh, sorry, real quick. In the South, my favorite bet of the tournament is Arizona and whoever the winner is over in that game. Wright State and Bryant are fucking up and down. The only thing I worry about is Arizona squishing both of them to like 6 points, but I do think they could score 100.
And also to start, even though I guess Rico missed the South region going back now.
Well, the line's not out, so it's kind of like. Go ahead.
Midwest. I want you to, Jake, please ask
Yes.
Rico what his favorite bet is.
Hey, Rico, there's
And
8
don't
games in the
be a
Midwest.
pussy. 'Cause
What's
you
your favorite
told me-
game?
You told me off camera.
Oh, I know what he's going to say.
And he's like dead serious. It wasn't even a shtick.
My favorite bet is definitely Iowa against.
Oh my God, you're such a pussy.
No, my second.
No,
it's right there.
you said one.
Okay.
You
My
said
favorite
one.
bet is Iowa against that scumbag rat fuck coach
No.
at Richmond.
By the way, the background there,
No, we don't
Richmond's
need
head
to.
coach,
Kevin Mooney just doesn't know. Like whoever runs his PR should be fired. I hope he gets fired after.
he went
this
on
game.
a different
When Conor
podcast
McCaffrey
last
fucking
year.
drops 50 and on his fucking nuts. Fuck him.
Tell a real one.
I think Colgate plus 7.5 is a fucking something to look at. I really do.
I mean,
Not
you
something
said
to look
Colgate
at.
the
He
moment.
didn't say
Brett.
he didn't say
Wow.
something to look at. He goes, I really love
They're
Colgate
really
to
dangerous.
go.
They're dangerous.
Did you see Colgate last year?
Yeah.
Mike.
He was brushing his
Wait,
teeth.
in the game, dildo.
They didn't cover.
Yeah, because I took Arkansas in a sweat. Like we obviously couldn't go against Must-Bus. I loved Colgate, and then that's
you
what it
were
was.
brushing your teeth for 3 days before the tournament. You're
Then
like,
they got
okay.
Must. No, that clip, I kept hitting Arkansas live in that game. That clip when I go, you make adjustments, that's about Must. Dead serious. I know for a fact. And Dan kept going, stop betting it live. Stop. I was hammering Arkansas.
So your
Hammering.
favorite bet is Colgate against
No,
Wisconsin.
it's Iowa, and then it's Colgate.
The Providence, South Dakota state line, 2 points has to be the
it's crazy.
smallest 4-13 spread ever, right?
I'm gonna hammer Providence.
I'm-
It's
I'm
one of those.
beginning
Everyone's
to-
on South
yeah.
Dakota State.
I'm beginning to go to, but it's also like everyone's on it for a reason.
Yeah, but it's like again, how many times do we see this where
I worry
everybody
about
goes
their
on one
size.
team and then goes the other way?
Nate Watson inside. I worry about their size.
Justin Minaya is gonna eat up fucking South Dakota State defensively.
Yeah, that's fair. That the other region, or the part of that region that I think people are just dismissing, is the LSU Iowa State game, because LSU obviously has an interim coach. Iowa State's kind of limping in after a hot start. What do we make of that one?
I think I'm
Right now
pretty
it's
sure
4.
the over came out at 72.
127.
127.
Well, it should be 72.
I mean,
Seriously.
yeah, I would
Pretty
say
awful.
Iowa State has scored 40 points like numerous times this
Yeah.
year. I'm taking Iowa State with the points.
I
What I
think-
said yesterday, like I just
See, I think Rico
I want no
is
part of it.
wrong in this. Well, he wasn't wrong, but he was making an assumption of LSU being like checked out. I think this resurges LSU where it's like, fuck it, let's go. Like, I don't care that Will
could.
Williams gone.
it's gonna be one or two ways. Either they pack it up or it's
Yeah.
that. And I'll just bet on them packing it in.
I think Auburn got a favorable draw to the Elite Eight, because Wisconsin, we don't know if Johnny Davis is 100%. Obviously, the LSU off the court things. And
That's the
then I don't
weakest
I
see
spot
kind
I
of
see
agree with
in my
Miami.
part of
though.
the
I
bracket.
think maybe now people are sleeping on LSU.
Yeah, I do too.
but they totally could lay an egg, and I wouldn't be shocked.
It's also are people hyping up Iowa
And I
State?
think that's where you have to gut feeling where we're like, Iowa State stinks. Like, let's just leave it at that. LSU is better than Iowa
yeah,
State.
my gut feeling is LSU packs it in.
But
I don't trust
Auburn.
LSU.
Auburn had that from LSU down to Auburn is the easiest road to the
Yep.
Sweet 16 and even the Elite Eight.
Are you going to take Miami since you're anti-USC?
I'm taking Miami. Yeah,
Plus
that's,
1.5?
that's just a gut. That's a gut thing as well.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's where it's crazy. Like there's a ton of these games that are basically just pick'ems.
Yeah,
You're not
Yeah.
getting any like you
Lot
like,
of
oh,
high
get
point
Miami
games.
with 5 and get Miami with 6. It's like plus 1.5. That's like you have to win the game. They can't cover 1.5.
Yeah, no, 100%. And then the 8-9 game is also 2 points. San Diego State and Creighton. That's another one of those. It's like, I have no clue. Like,
No.
Creighton just made a nice run to the Big East championship game, but San Diego State have a 4-bid Mountain West. Like, they had a lot of competition this season. Under is, it's 120. That's got to be the lowest of the first round,
Yeah,
right?
Under.
I just need Iowa, Kansas.
When is that game?
Creighton, San Diego State's Thursday night, 7:27. on
Iowa
Eastern time.
28-1 to win the title right now on the Barstool Sports Book.
I was at
28?
28.
28-1.
What'd you get him at?
80?
Wow.
It was 50 the other day. Iowa is now. See, that's
Are you
what's
sure? 28.
They have the 14th best odds.
What a bet by Martin
That's
Archibald.
awesome.
Unbelievable.
80.
80 to
Holy
1.
shit.
When did you place that?
I
At
think-
Summit?
I think so, to be honest.
I was-
did.
Listen, I was kind of
20
joking. I'm kind of not. Fran McCaffrey should send us championship shirts and
They're
hats.
8-1 since we went there.
8-1.
Iowa's 28-1. Illinois 40-1.
Wow.
So like that just shows you right there. Fucking Wisconsin 66-1.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then the Auburn-Jacksonville State game. I mean, Jacksonville State lost in the conference semifinals. Auburn also an early exit. I feel like Auburn. I don't know.
No, you gotta smash Auburn. Jacksonville State doesn't even belong there. So
I'm gonna. That's an emotional. I'm going to bet against you because I
yeah,
now have a pure hatred
Yep,
for
you don't
Jacksonville State.
deserve to be there.
Auburn's
Scumbags.
looked like shit. Yeah. It's
Auburn
probably a
is
smash.
my like it's not even a sleeper because they're a 2C, but it's like everyone's out on Auburn all of a sudden. So
Yeah,
it's like
they're now down to 4, 6. They have the 7th best odds.
yeah, they went from like holy shit, this team's unbelievable to like fuck them. Like they have a great draw.
15-1.
Yeah, that's totally fair. And then quickly, since this is airing Tuesday night, the two big first 4 games. Wyoming is +4 at Indiana, right?
Yeah.
And Rutgers Notre Dame is
I think I saw Rutgers -1. I got it written.
Notre Dame -1.
Notre Dame -1. Okay.
Oh, I like Rutgers.
That's
I
the
like
Rico
Rutgers.
Bosco game.
Yeah, Brian +3.
Also, Mike Bray thinks that he has a crazy person texting him.
I mean,
Because
100%.
he did it again.
Oh, he did it
and
again?
Bray answered with a clover.
It's either Clover or nothing.
Where it's like, that's what you just do something where it's like, all right, don't kill me. Like, just don't, like, keep texting. Like, just
I mean,
throw
you saw
once
the
in a
initial
while.
text. He was all in. Just got busy during the season. So
Yeah.
That's
hopefully we
what-
run into him at the fucking Peach Jam.
Him, yeah, he
You
probably
love
sees
the
a
beach
message
jam.
come up and it's just like, what's this?
Oh,
Yeah,
by the way,
number.
before we wrap here, our bracket challenge is live. Pickhoops.com/benchmob. Totally free to play. Right now, we're recording this Monday afternoon. We have over 500 brackets in right now. So we'll all fill out one on there. You guys can compare against us and make fun of us when you beat us because there's probably a good chance of that happening because we're going to overthink all of these
Save
games.
a Longwood shirt to give the winner as well. In that box, Marty.
Should we invite the winner on the show?
Dave has first crack at it. It's he says he has Arizona winning over UConn. And he
In
also
the championship game?
He also has Murray State in the Final Four.
God damn it.
That's Dave's bracket.
Yeah.
All right, so that'll be on the bracket
Murray
challenge
State
too.
Final Four would be nuts.
We'll
I
invite-
will, and I'd have to watch Murray State, Kentucky with him.
And he has Duke. He has Duke losing to UConn in the Elite Eight.
Interesting. That's
A lot
Dave's
of history
bracket.
there.
So you'll
Duke
see
is
ours
fine.
unlock on Thursday, but I'll tweet out mine as well. Yeah, so pickhoops.com/benchmob. It'll be a lot of fun. I think we should invite the winner on the show because it'll be interesting to pick their brain on how they did it. So we'll do that.
Depends who they
Pickhoops.com. Yeah, I guess. Pickhoops.com/benchmob. That's our show. Again, Thursday through Sunday, March after midnight on the Benchmob YouTube page. Go ahead and subscribe to the Barstool Benchmob YouTube page. We'll be live after each live stream, Thursday through Sunday, live right after the final game. And we'll turn that into a podcast as well. So if you miss it live at around midnight, March after midnight, we'll be on YouTube live Thursday through Sunday. And if you can't listen live, you can listen as well. But that's our show. The next time you hear from us, we'll be in Philadelphia for the first round. It'll be Thursday night, unpacking the first set of real games. Best time of year. Now all there's left to do is tip off. I'm very excited. All right, we'll see you guys Thursday night, March after midnight.